Welcome. And we are discussing, we're revealing the Messianic secret and the inner teachings of the gospel. And some may ask, on what authority I teach these things. The authority is based on the horoscope for illumination. It represents a baptism from above, and the positions of the planetary orbs, or if one wills, the Sephiroth, that are unified when one has unified body, soul and spirit. That is the authority from which I teach the inner teachings of the gospel. And this harkens back to a moment in the gospel which we find in Matthew chapter 21 verses 23 to 27, when Jesus teaches in the temple, and the Pharisees ask on what authority he teaches. And this scripture we read, "And when he," Jesus that is, "he was come into the temple, the chief priests and the elders of the people came unto him as he was teaching, and said, By what authority doest thou these things? And who gave thee this authority? And Jesus answers and said unto them, I also will ask you one thing, which if ye tell me, I in likewise will tell you by what authority I do these things. The baptism of John, whence was it? From heaven or of men? And they reasoned with themselves, saying, If we shall say from heaven, he will say unto us, Why did we not then believe him? But if we shall say of men, we fear the people, for all hold John as a prophet. And they answered Jesus and said, We cannot tell. And he said unto them, Neither tell I you by what authority I do these things. The authority by which Jesus does these things, the secret of it, is this chart for illumination. It is the moment of baptism from above as revealed in the cosmos. And Jesus undertakes his gospel mission, the good news according to it. And so now we have come in the New Testament to the point where the Pharisees basically rejected his teachings, and he goes through what is known as the 7 woes. And these 7 woes are based upon the axiom or the seal of Solomon, as above, so below. The same hexagram that we started to reveal in the inner secrets of the Torah. And here we have the 6 points of that hexagram. And the woes are based upon it. So Jesus in the temple bases the woes on the creation. The first woe. And we begin at the first point of the star. And the first woe states, But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven in men's faces. For ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in. And we discovered that the first point of creation is Aries, governed by Mars, which is fire. And this first woe is identified by the first point here, by the reference to men's faces, for Aries governs the head. The second woe refers now to the second point of this hexagram, and we read, Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye compass sea and land to make one the proselyte, and when he is made, ye make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. This is a reference to the second point of the creation, which is in reference to Air and Gemini. The third woe equates to the third point of the star, third day of creation. Woe unto you, ye blind guides, which say, Whoever so shall swear by the temple, it is nothing, but whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple is a debtor. Therefore, the third day is equating to the solar orb of the sun. And the sun rules over Leo, and Leo metal is gold. The fourth woe equates to the fourth day of creation, represented in this star here. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithe of mint, and arise and come in, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone. Here we find the astrological characteristics of Libra, whose glyph is the scales, which rules over justice and compassion and is governed by Venus. And the fourth day of creation is based on the claw of Scorpio, which is Libra, the air sign. Now we come to the next day of creation, which is the fifth woe. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess. Thou blind Pharisee, cleanse first that which is within the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean also. And here we have reference to the astrological characteristics of Sagittarius here, of fire, which rules the fifth day of creation, and the half human and half centaur, which rules over the higher intellect and the lower physical activities, and is governed by Jupiter. Now the sixth woe here, which refers to the sixth point of this hexagram, Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are like unto whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones. And here we have the astrological characteristics equated to Saturn, for Saturn rules over the bone structure in man, and Saturn rules Aquarius, the air sign here. And lastly, the seventh woe, which must have reference to the middle of the star. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because ye build the tombs of the prophets, and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous, and say, If we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. And here we find the astrological characteristics of Cancer, water, the sign that rules over the family heads, and it governs Reuben. The moon rules over domestic instincts, governed by the moon. So here we have reference to the prophets, the fathers of Israel. So here Jesus has, through his woes, identified the hexagram found, the seal of Solomon found on the first page of the Bible. This ends the first part of the Messianic Secret.